everything that you see in your house, that you wear, everything is pretty much been on the back of a truck at some stage in its life.
Flu jabs, chicken and milkshakes. Just a few of the things that are currently in short supply in the UK.
But I've been here 32 years and never ever seen anything like this, ever.
One poll found 56% of people in the UK have noticed shortages at their local supermarket.
We're not getting the stock, so we can't send it out to all the different places who we supply.
So why are there shortages in Britain? The pandemic has exacerbated a shortage of lorry drivers in the UK. It was an issue before COVID, with many drivers leaving the profession because of the long hours, poor working conditions and pay declining relative to other low-skilled trades. But with EU nationals a significant part of the workforce, it became a big deal when many didn't return, and testing for new UK drivers was put on hold.
Very busy. We've got unprecedented demand for drivers at the moment. The industry has always said that there's been a shortage of drivers, but now the supply chain's broken and supermarket shelves are potentially empty for Christmas.
Then there's Brexit. Some of the drivers who went home during the pandemic found themselves unable to return to the UK because of new immigration rules. Around 14,000 EU drivers left the UK in the year to June 2020, and according to the industry, only 600 of them had returned a year later. Many Brexiteers won't mind that. One argument for leaving the EU was that it would raise the wages and standards of domestic workers.
The government, they're really focusing on training up domestic people rather than putting lorry driving on the skills shortage list to get some of these European workers back on a work visa. We're going to train up domestic people. It's great for the UK public.
But that will take time, leaving businesses struggling to meet demand, consumers facing shortages and potentially price rises as a consequence.
In time, I think we can fill the gap, but short term, I think we need to maybe relax the visa rules so we can get some of the EU drivers back into the UK. Long term, we'll be fine. We just need to build up to it.
Labour costs are already going up.
Well, we expect to get another wage increase imminently. Our second, third in some cases this year now. You're circa of 10%, I would guess.
As companies struggle to meet demand, drivers have been offered pay rises in order to ensure they stay in the profession. And major employers like Tesco, Amazon and John Lewis have offered four-figure signing-on bonuses to new drivers.
Inducing drivers with football-style signing-on fees. Retention bonuses payable after 3 months. I've heard numbers up to £5,000 pension.
And while HGV drivers are a problem for everyone, there are labour shortages in other industries too. The Confederation of British Industry says there's demand for butchers, meat processors, fruit and flower pickers, warehouse workers, cleaners, chefs, scaffolders, carpenters, welders, electrical engineers and factory assembly workers.
There are many roles and career opportunities for local people here, but we simply don't have the people coming forward for the jobs.
Meanwhile, there were still up to 1.6 million people on furlough at the end of July, and the government hopes that when the scheme ends this month, those made redundant may fill these roles. The CBI is sceptical.
The firms that have still got people on furlough, they've been paying for those, so they must be doing so in the belief that they're going to need those workers pretty soon, otherwise they wouldn't have held on to them. And of course there's going to be some dislocation. The people on that furlough scheme right now won't necessarily have the skills to slot straight into these vacancies.
A shortage of semiconductors, the material from which microchips are made, has hit industries from consumer electronics to car production. Initially, the pandemic closed factories in Southeast Asia where most semiconductors are produced. Then a surge in demand from people working from home saw them scramble to meet orders. When the car market recovered faster than expected, chip suppliers couldn't keep pace. Demand is also causing shortages of the raw materials for the building trade. Cement, concrete, steel, stone and timber. Prices are rising as a consequence.
It is causing product shortages on shelf, and my concern is that this will only get worse because we're now in September and we're coming into the critical time of year where we start to stock build for Christmas. which is obviously a really important time of year for everyone.
The CBI warns that labour shortages could last 2 years as employers retrain and hire a domestic workforce. And some analysts believe that post-Brexit there could be a permanent impact with reduced supply of goods and higher prices.